roster is capable of.
Recently,
yes.
Yeah.
There's been a bit of a dip in their performance. If they can iron it out, then they're going to be a handful against Secret, who do appear to be rejuvenated through one game, but still a very small sample size. Speculated that we might see Nomad and Kaid get played, but, well, not going to be Nomad. The attacking counterpart of the Moroccan operators will be off the board for every single round that we witness here on Consulate.
Yeah, banning Nomad just screams, I want to be aggressive on defense, and, well, it's going to allow that aggression. So that's, I guess, a good ban for Secret, considering what they want to play. But it also will broadcast their intentions, so LeStream will, I'm sure, be ready for that. Dokkaebi going to be removed as well. That's just kind of a nuisance operator that nobody wants to deal with, eliminated, plus some smokes that you no longer have to face as a defender. It's going to be Maestro next. Another one of those just kind of foregone conclusion bans, so nothing crazy there. And there's, wow. All right, so we've talked about this in the past. Mira is a good operator. She's an amazing operator. This is probably one of her least least powerful maps, I guess. She is good on Consulate, but she's not essential. We've seen some teams that will run her religiously, especially in the basement, but often the Mira windows actually don't influence the take or the defense at all on this map. As much as she can get played, yeah, and she could be very useful, it just doesn't seem like she plays as large or pivotal a point as on other maps. So that ban just screams Europe's preference right now. And we've seen this from other regions. Europe's not the only region that has their own preference, who they want to be played and don't want to be played, period. But there you go, getting rid of Mira.
I was going to say, it feels like you got to ban Mira out, right? A lot of these teams don't like using her, they don't like playing against her. Whether she's going to be pivotal or not, it's going to completely change the way that the defense plays, the very same way that Nomad is going to allow teams to play here on Consulate. Now, when you look at a map like Consulate, it's almost just, it's a very large map, but it feels almost small in a lot of its engagements. It's tight corridors, tight walls, small doorways. A lot of teams will take engagements typically at closer ranges than maps, say, on Bank, than maps, say, on Villa, on maps maybe even like Coastline. Because of this, if you put a Nomad air jab in a doorway or a nook in a cranny that you can't particularly see, it makes rotating on this map very challenging. And there have been teams who have even said that Nomad, just simply being in play, can possibly stop the defenders from having that confidence to be able to successfully rotate, because you never know if there's an air jab waiting for you.
I wholeheartedly agree with the Nomad ban, especially on Consulate. In my mind, it's similar to a Maverick ban on Clubhouse, for example. It's the type of thing that just, yeah, obviously you don't want to deal with that whole factor, and you may as well just get rid of it. So, sensible from Secret. Uno going to be repelled upside down on yellow stairs. Now he's just waiting for a potential pick, but it's unlikely anyone's going to step into his line of sight. There could be a Thatcher EMP on the roof, followed up by a grenade from Rise. So you're going to clear out the ADSs with that Thatcher. Here comes the grenade, but it's poorly placed, and it's going to do some damage, just not enough to get the kill. Bonkers will heal Stiz all the way back to full HP, and the second nade will likely not secure anything. And actually, he's not going to heal more than once. That's kind of interesting. A nade might kill Stiz in this position.
It's absolutely able to do so. I think it was 90 damage that was done to Stiz the first time around.
About that, yeah.
So you'd imagine that something similar would take out the remainder of his, his 55 HP, so to speak. But Rise doesn't have any grenades left. There's nobody else on LeStream who is capable of holding on to those explosive throwables, so you don't really need to worry if you're Stiz about possibly an explosive end, unless there's a team kill coming out from a C4, in which, well, you don't have anybody on defense that can hold that either, so.
There's a distinct emphasis on vertical pressure from LeStream right now. They do have a buck, and that's going to be very useful, of course, in this endeavor, but just interesting kind of attack strategy from LeStream, one that we don't often see. Uno going to be pushing his way to the top of Spiral, cutting off rotation. Lems will eliminate Hicks, though, so it's a good start for Team Secret. And that was the aggression on the B windows dealt with. Missed shots from Uno, and Leon from behind is going to get another kill for Secret. So here we go, the defense putting up some kills.
It's a great rally as Aces looks for the dot kill, picks up two very quickly, and then gets a yokai for his trouble as well as Alfama tags in, takes out a Lem after Rise falls, and both teams find themselves fighting on even footing with only 45 seconds left to work with. Secret just need to hang on. And the patience there will net a kill onto Aces. And Alfama on those console office windows will need to rappel on in, making quite a bit of noise, and he can't outduel Leon Gids, who earns 3 kills for his trouble, and showing that the Legion, who was able to roam incessantly all over the map, unhindered by the presence of an air jab, as Nomad was taken out by Team Secret. There you have it. There's a good reason why Secret understood you take out the anti-flank operator who shuts down those flank routes, because then you have the opportunity to continuously move across the map. Leon Gids is very, very strong at this, very good at being able to take map control away and find those little avenues that the attackers or the defenders, depending on what side of the equation he's on, aren't looking for.
Certainly a round and a half there from Leon, and an explosive start to this match, proving the theory correct. We are likely to see a pretty close one. That could have gone either way throughout the entirety of that round. It felt like as soon as Aces started fragging in, coming up top of yellow stairs, then we were really into the round, and it wasn't just going to be a stomp from Secret. Though Secret, again, had an amazing start. Partially thanks to how LeStream played inside of B as well. You gotta give him props. He was, I think, a big thorn in the side of the attacking team, and LeStream really struggled to figure out how to deal with him. I was imagining they were gonna use the buck from below, but it just didn't happen. He was playing the position, didn't use the skeleton key. Moving on from that, looks like we're going to be seeing a basement defense here from Team Secret. So we've been seeing a lot more mid-floor from defenders on Consulate, but recently at least. But it seems that that's not the choice for Team Secret in this moment.
It's always really interesting to look at the way that teams play the roaming system and setup that they have on Consulate, because you can have teams play 2 bodies on that second floor, 1 body in the main floor, and then 2 bodies down in garage if you're defending that garage site. It's also not uncommon to have, 2 bodies down below on that main floor if you're defending on that second floor above, and then of course having a body on every single floor when you're defending lobby. There's lots of different ways that teams can play this one out.
Yeah, this currently is going to be a pretty extended roam from Secret. I've got the Legion, at least, of Leon roaming in admin office, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Fonkers is also roaming elsewhere. That's set up. It's going to be a nice duo on the top floor, as you can see, and that'll be very good at delaying the push. Though LeStream's not going to get too distracted. Love to see this from an attacking team when it's a basement of Consulate. They'll be going straight for the garage, and they will get panel 3 open swiftly.
A little surprised why Meepy fell off there. It didn't look like there was any real significant pressure on him. There was nobody in piano that he had to worry about. There was no presence on yellow stairs either. Maybe Meepy and Secret just realized that, hey, conceding this garage panel is more worthwhile than possibly risking losing the Bandit. Because Meepy might be holding on to a C4, and if the pulse of Alems has already used his, which he has not, well then there might only be one on the team. Moot point though, because Meepy does have barbed wire in his hands. Uno had fallen about 20 seconds ago, so you find that LeStream are already down a man early, and that was Uno, who was on the console or on the admin office, rather repels, trying to make his way in, using a lot of utility in the process, and making 0 headway before he falls in the round.
Alfama also spent some HP to get that second thermite charge off. That was a good job to Stiz for capitalizing on the opportunity to do a little bit of damage. That's going to make this push just ever so slightly more difficult for LeStream once it eventually comes out. They've got plenty of time though, only 1-man disadvantage. Ace is missing some important shots by Pipes, but Rise won't miss his as Stiz goes down. Meepy will take out Alfama. That seems to be from the back of White. You could see that Rise is trying to disable that position, but it's not going to work because the C4 shuts him down in piano. Ace is hitting his shots this time, but not enough to get the kill. Hicks is going to be the one to secure that frag onto Alems before Fonkers will refrag onto Aces. Leaving just Hicks now outside, 1 versus 3, and he's going to have to make his way back into the building. But how? As Leon has shored up all the holes and will get the final kill.
I was actually quite surprised. I was going to comment on how Secret gave up yellow control so early. Both those panels went, and then immediately all of Secret fell off and allowed, I believe it was Rise at the time, to go up to piano,
yes,
and then have presence as well on yellow stairs. That puts a lot of pressure on everybody that you have on the defense playing inside of that main garage. It means that Pipes, very vulnerable because you've got the soft destruction of the buck above. It means that anybody playing over by the black car or anybody playing over by the white van might also be in jeopardy because that buck can just tear up the entire floor. But it was obvious that Secret's play was to play far back, retreat into kitchen, ensure that there was somebody who could put pressure on the buck above, and then just have somebody rotate. That was Leon Gids, once again, for the second round in a row, being able to find those holes in the attacking structure that LeStream had set up and being able to exploit them. And when Leon Gids gets his footing under him, and he's able to continuously take advantage of all those avenues that the attackers present themselves to having against the defenders. It goes really bad for the team, especially in LeStream's case. It doesn't look so great through 2 rounds.
Yeah, to reinforce your point, did somebody say Nomad ban? I think somebody said Nomad ban, and that's a sensible one for Secret given how they've been playing this match. I mean, the defense from Secret thus far has been completely fluid. That's the one thing to note. And if it were a Nomad in play, for example, I don't think that would be possible. It's a lot easier to shut down a fluidity with simply a few air jabs here and there, or at least mitigate the presence of it somewhat. Not the case, though, in this match, and that's going to be a comfortable place for Secret to be as they go to the middle floor. If they win this, it'll be a full circle on Consulate, and it's going to be a pretty good result, all things considered. Usually, you don't see all 3 defenses won on this map. Not in a row, at least. Hicks is going to take out Leon, so, well, he has no feet to stand on anymore, at least not in this round. So there's that. That's a very good start for LeStream, considering how well Leon has been performing. And they've also managed to work, I think it's Uno, all the way in the basement. He could potentially get some opportune kills from this from this position.
Stiz is going to be there to greet him, but there's a barricade that could possibly just thwart Uno's advance. He's going to fall off for the time being. And
he's doing the
silent walk.
Yeah, he's doing the shift W. So if you hold W and tap shift, you
don't tell the people how to do it.
Okay.
Oh no, say goodbye to Stiz. Uno collects a 2nd kill for LeStream. You don't need to be silent in order to be able to get that one, as the big body of Doc is heard down in Visa, making this very challenging for Secret to be able to recover. So lost control of the site above. So that means that anybody who decides to pressure onto LeStream could find themselves dying early. That'll be Fonkers this time, and Secret has lost complete control with still half of the round to go. It's a 5v2 that favors LeStream. Time to get messy and take chances, and there it is. Alems walks in, takes out Rise pretty easily as Meepy is unable to tag the drone. His position is given away with that intel being relayed to the rest of LeStream, with Uno being the only member of LSE that has lost any HP.
2 shotguns and 2 SMG-11s on the defense against 4 attackers. Not a lot of ammunition. Explosive power, but it's going to have to come down to LeStream going for a trickle attack instead of a attack in unison. Well, we'll see. Meepy going to go for a rotate. He could potentially do some work from downstairs if the drops are open, maybe deny using his smokes. Plant's going down, though, just inside the front door, and here we go. The drop open, smokes out, but it's too late. The plant will go down. The final 2 kills, and LeStream will take their 1st round on Consulate.
Our talk about Leon Gids will tend to dominate a lot of matches for Secret just because he's flashy and he plays in a way that the rest of the team can move around, and he's a pretty good shot. Well, losing Leon Gids early on in your match is not always a great thing to do. Every single round, you need him to be able to exploit the weaknesses that your opponents show you. In fact, as Leon Gids fell early for Secret, the rest of their fortunes went with him. And it was Uno who found the holes in the defense and was able to exploit that so swiftly. After the wise rotate from Spiral Stairs over towards Visa, he caught the Doc, possibly rotating, and then nobody else could pin the Ash down. Full site control afterwards as you prompt Team Secret to have to fall off of their positions. And as you very wisely mentioned, having a mute and a smoke, advantageous when they push you individually.
Yeah.
But if you surround them, that small magazine of the SMG-11 will need to be reloaded at some point, and usually trying to swap to your shotgun doesn't necessarily work all that well. And unless you have that shotgun out ready to engage at multiple angles, which can be done because that shotgun is capable of one-shot kill. It's a very difficult proposition to find yourself in. Didn't work at all for Secret as they fell off, and they did not have the range advantage that shotgun would give them, and LeStream just collapsed.
It's also Consulate. I mean, I'm sorry to cut you off there at the end.
That's okay.
This is also Consulate, and I feel like this map has some deceptively close engagements, but also, at the same time, some seriously long angles. And if you're aware you're playing against 2 SAS operators with the shotgun and the SMG-11, you're going to push the engagements as far as you can, get the distance. And you saw that was clearly a calculation made by LeStream in that last round. They went for a main lobby attack when they knew they had the control they needed. And this could be a frag for Uno, but oof. Some missed shots are going to cost them 25 HP. They still get the kill. Leon goes down, and that's an important thing to note. It's Leon, first kill. 2 rounds in a row. That could be 2 rounds in a row for LeStream. Again, Leon needs to be able to impact these rounds, or Team Secret put themselves at in a very bad spot. That's their main fragger.
there's also a mental aspect of losing somebody who is as aggressive as Leon is, and this isn't even just, you know, exclusive to Leon. If you know that your opponents have somebody who is going to deliberately try to exploit the fact that you don't have a flank watch, or exploit the fact that you might not keep a flank drone, then you always have to keep in the back of your mind, where could they be? If you don't have their location, then that's a problem, because you have to commit some part of your mind to wondering where you might get pushed from. Now that Leon Gids is off the table, that means that that almost phantom presence of Leon and the way that he plays is gone. Nobody on Secret is going to be able to catch you off guard the same way that Leon can, and that's a huge sigh of relief for LeStream, and they'll be able to take advantage of it over the next minute and a half.
You can see it's quite clearly an A bomb site take. Lems is trying to fill the shoes of Leon. It's going to be Uno he'll have to contest with. Uno on flank watch near Spiral, but a run out, and he will take down Aces on the balcony. Alfalma, though, refrags on Stiz, and that's control of the A bomb site now in the way of LeStream. Good crossfire going on here from LeStream. The hard destruction coming in, and Meepy's going to go down to Hicks, playing a long angle there. Bonkers also playing a long angle. Going to miss the shots into the A bomb site. Now, no one's crossed yet, but he still has no coverage of this bomb site. In fact, there is a plant going down amidst the A site. Luna will eliminate Fonkers, leaving just Lems, who has come back from his roam. He'll get a second frag for himself, but now on low HP and in a 1 versus 3 still. The attackers have a good amount of control, but they're not playing too aggressively. They know they just need to play the post plant and wait for the push from Lems. Ash opening up from below. No chance here for Lems. A missed shot from Rise, but that's not going to give him enough opportunity. He has to check every single angle, and it's going to be his undoing. Rise will shut him down. LeStream get 2 rounds in a row, following 2 early picks of Leon.
Textbook patience there from LeStream, but still excellent nonetheless. You keep your bodies far enough back that if you have any pressure whatsoever, the rest of your team is there to be able to try to net the refrag and fight for the trade in any real capacity. And that was the numbers advantage that LeStream had at one point, a 4v2 as they go for the execute. You have a body immobilized, getting that diffuser down ends up being a 3v2 at that point, but you've got more than enough coverage. And more importantly, you have the intel on where the defenders are. Fonkers exposed himself at long desk trying to take a fight that he knew that he could possibly win, but there were just too many bodies from LeStream to cut him down. Once again, that round really boils down to Secret taking a gamble at the start of the first 30 seconds, losing it, and then having to basically recalibrate their defense. And you can't hold that same level of map control, and you can't strike fear in the heart of your opponents, knowing that you are at a disadvantage, and you've got somebody whose sole job is to be able to hold map control and catch you your pants down in a flank off the board.
That time did it again.
It's okay.
That timing was also pretty crazy. Uno was coming up from the spawn nearest to admin office, and Leon looked to be trying to rotate down to the basement, or possibly to the middle floor. And just because Ash is the 3-speed and Leon's on a 2-speed, Leon just very barely got caught off and picked on the Visa stairs. That, I mean, you can blame him for it, sure, but it just comes down to really poor timing. Fonker's going for a spawn peek here. Hicks is going to possibly be his victim, but no, he'll come off the angle as soon as he feels pressured.
Dig that first 10 seconds, you don't see anybody. Maybe there's some patience there from the attackers. Maybe they're not going to be giving you that same level of pressure that you'd expect. Or maybe they're just not spawning in that direction. That's information that Fonkers might not have at his disposal. But Fonkers is currently inside of admin office. That's going to be a big problem because there's 2 bodies from LeStream, all of whom are near. Fonkers struggling to be able to get on this cabinet, be able to maybe give him a vantage point that can assist the rest of his team. He's got Leon Gids as backup inside of admin office. However, both of them are in a position where they've been droned out. Leon Gids struggling to take that drone, which will then prompt a response from LeStream, as 2 frag grenades will get tossed in from Rise, so he will have no more of his frags remaining. And all it does is take a sliver of HP off of both Leon Gids and Fonkers. Not really high value for Rise there. It also hasn't shaken either of these GIGN 3 speeds off of their posts. All the while, burning that time inside of admin allowed Lems to be able to get downstairs and, on Repel, catch Rise. However, finally, a successful entry will net both Meepy and Steez. So 2 members of Secret who were playing on site have fallen, and now Secret will have to recover, get back into site to help Lems, because your Echo and your Smoke are gone from Secret's side of things.
This adjustment so far from LeStream has been beautiful. They realized they couldn't take admin office, so they needed to rotate for a B take. But instead of rotating outside, as many teams would, they rotated through the building and were able to cut down 2 people in the process. Now they have a man advantage, and they can pretty much hit from anywhere. Leon and Fonkers are going to obviously rotate away from admin office and try to anchor the site, as they are doing currently. Leon, though, caught in the middle of B. This is very dangerous. If he gets picked off, that's going to put his teammates in a really bad spot, obviously, considering the current position Secret finds themselves in. Lem's trying his best to hold on to the yellow stairs, and he's doing a darn good job, but it's another rotation from the attack. And look, we've got people inside of A. It's Uno with an entry onto Fonkers. Leon adjusts, and he will refrag, so there's that. Lem's also here to support Leon. Leon just going in the site again, but here we go. The aggression does not pay off as Aces will shut him down. Alem's now the last defender. He is spotted out, and the Aces shots are coming in, but enough for miss to allow the rotation. Hicks finally shuts him down, but another round for LeStream. That's 3 in a row.
Big moves from LeStream to focus on the site, cut down the smoke, cut down the echo, and force your utility-less operators to get back into that site. Because think about it. Your 3 remaining members of Team Secret were a Jaeger, a Rook, and a Doc. Now, Rook likely has already used his utility, putting down that armor pack. Jaeger has likely placed down all of his ADSs, so at this point you've got 2 operators who are pretty good at fragging. The MP5 has an ACOG on it. It's not a bad weapon. It does low damage at long range, but at close range it can be particularly good. You've got the 416 carbine on Jaeger, also a really strong weapon. Doc has his stim pistols. That's all the utility that you're going to be able to rely upon as the defenders. You've lost the 3 sets of toxic canisters, and you've lost both the Yokais. That was a huge win for LeStream to be able to basically pop the defensive bubble that Secret had established on that site. And really, more than anything, shows you that sometimes Secret puts too much emphasis on their roam play and not enough on supporting their anchors, because there's really no reason that either Stiz or Meepy should be in a vulnerable enough position to die in the first minute and a half as your echo and your smoke when you're defending console office upstairs.
Yeah, and if you're wondering, admin office does very much qualify for a roam. As we've talked about in the past, and very recently in fact, on consulate top floor defense, there are few teams who go through the effort of holding on to admin offense, or sorry, office, pardon me, in this meta. It's usually treated as just a, hey, give it to the attackers and deal with what they're going to give you in response moving forward in some other way. Try to stem the tide from that push by holding on to another location. I'm going to put that on the table for a second. It is a rush from LeStream coming from the main lobby and through the drop down, but Alem's in a great spot. We'll get one. Meepy gets another onto Alfama. This Kitchen control, though, for the attack. Hicks will get the first kill for LeStream. Uno inside of Kitchen does not have the diffuser in hand, nor anyone to cover him. As Fonkers eliminates Hicks, that's another one of those covers eliminated. Aces gets Fonkers, though, so here we go. Frags coming in as Aces gets yet another one, and it's a 2 versus 2 in explosive fashion. Uno going for the plant, which leaves Aces to cover. And he's got a lit Alems to deal with on his flank, and a Leon coming back from the security hallway. Great shot from Aces as Leon goes down. It's just Alems, who has been fragging out in this match quite a lot, but finds himself on low HP in this situation. It's unlikely he'll be able to clutch it out. The one boon he has is that cardiac sensor. No C4, though, in hand. Sees the static target, but can't land the shots. That is going to be a missed opportunity, and there's no way these players stand stationary any longer. It's over. Alems shut down. LeStream, a successful rush through the main lobby.
Really falling short for Secret there through those final 4 rounds. And not that round in particular, because that round, obviously, it's very difficult for you to anticipate a rush of that style. We have seen teams walk right into Visa, pop the Visa hatch, and have everybody drop and just push right into the site. Usually not a lot of teams have anybody in that staff area, at least not more than 1 body. You
mentioned a lack of emphasis on the anchors from Secret, and I think that you really hit the nail on the head, because that's what we saw in that last round, and it's what ended up costing them the whole round.
Multiple rounds, we just saw that there was very minimal support for Meepy and for Steez on site. Alems would come back quickly if he could, which major credit to him. He's playing at 3-speed. He kind of should be doing that. But there were times where Fonkers just didn't look like he understood how to be able to assist those anchors. That's going to come with more experience under his belt playing at this level. Keep in mind, this is only Fonker's second Pro League game ever.
True.
Despite the fact that he broke double digits on his first one, it seems, at least for the time being, that it might be a little out of reach with the way that this game is going. Still, he's going to have to learn how to play around that team. Meepy and Steez find themselves in a number of different rounds in a position where they needed help. They were drowning on site, and there was nobody there to rescue them. There was no lifeboat from Team Secret. We switch sides now, and you look at Secret's lineup. They're running this very colorful lineup with tons of fragging potential, actually very similar to what we saw from LeStream, except there's going to be a Capitao on the board for Secret. Everything else is going to be about the same. Hibana, IQ, Buck, and Ash. Lots of good destructibility, lots of good soft destruction, and you're able to wrestle map control away pretty fast because you got 4 3 speeds on Secret that can close the gap on the defending team.
Very potentially aggressive lineup, you could say. That might work out for them, considering the way that we see LeStream set up. An emphasis on yellow stairs control is evident here for both teams, and when you have that control, the reason you're holding it is it will allow you to deny entry to the B bomb site using that wall that's next to yellow stairs. Just open up the wall and you could see straight into B windows. Deny that rappel straight up. That's what makes this such an important location for the defense, but it's one that is very exposed to the attackers as well, to things like grenades and the like. You can see Secret are dumping so much utility into getting control of yellow stairs, and they still have yet to do that because the players who are on yellow stairs have a rotation in the bathroom. The setup right now for LeStream working out quite well.
Rise has a couple ADSs that'll be able to help him, but keep in mind, those ADSs don't do much against the firebolts that Capitao is able to put down. He has to be very quick because Rise is in a position where he might not actually get hit by either of these. Alems just missing his target, and very good play, but there it comes. Meepy will swing right on in, and Rise is held in place, so maybe those asphyxiating bolts were designed more for area denial than for pure damage. Aces will at least refrag onto Meepy, taking the IQ out, so both teams will lose one. That took 1 minute and 45 seconds, and actually quite a fair bit of utility from Team Secret just to be able to claim control of yellow.
Actually, pretty much all of the utility from Team Secret. Leon, an excellent pick onto Uno there. That's an opportune kill. Alfama finds himself in admin office, a little bit stranded from the team, and this is actually a great spot suddenly for Team Secret where it looked hopeless. But if Alfama can deny here for a few more seconds, it might not really matter that Secret has the man advantage. Trap's giving great information here to LeStream, and I'll be holding out, just waiting the clock down.
Double repel on in for Alfama. He's able to catch one, can't net the second as he gets run over by the Capitao of Alems. Leon Gids falls offside as Hicks is there to be able to collect the kill. It's a 2v2. 30 seconds left, and Team Secret are going to need to make something work. They don't have much control at the time being. Hicks is on site. Aces will need to return. He'll come back up through Visa. Fonkers will give his position away at long desk. Hicks is on 1 HP. They fall, but it's Alems, the double kill, and 3 big kills for the Capitao will allow Secret to bounce back after a disappointing run on their round of defense. Secret on attack will be able to collect a very important round to keep themselves in this matchup and not allow LeStream to build on the lead that they ran up over the last 4 rounds.
What a great round from Alems, and what a great match in total. If I'm not mistaken, that's him breaking double digits, so great job to him. Great round from him. Great round from Secret as well. I'm a little bit worried about the way that they rotated. They rotated straight into LeStream's hold, and that was a little bit curious. They could have just remained on their focus for B bomb site, maybe had a better time, but they did manage to deal with Alfama despite losing someone to him in the admin office. So it's not the end of the world, and win's a win. It certainly looked like LeStream was in the driver's seat for that round, especially considering, and I wanted to note on this in the last round, but Secret used actually all of their utility on yellow stairs, except for the, infinitely sustainable utility, of course. But all of the possible expenditure was used, and it was an expensive nothing basically for Secret. Forced them to rotate, and while they did win the round, it's a little bit worrisome the way that played out. Could you imagine, for example, if maybe Team Secret had placed the firebolts and then thrown the nades after clearing out the ADSs? That might have been a better strategy, but also would have cost them less manpower. But it's done now. Secret still won it.
Despite that utility dump, exactly, they still ended up winning the round. And a large part of that was what little LeStream had in terms of map control. They had a lot of control in the very final 30 seconds, but Alems was just able to simply outmuscle both members of LeStream. And that's because Alems came from an angle, a long desk, nobody else from LeStream really understood he was going to be playing off of. We'll see how good map control is able to play for LeStream on this end, because LeStream has quite a bit of utility on their side. Exact same lineup for Secret. See if they can apply that a little bit better, as Garage is going to be the site. So LeStream obviously realizing that, hey, we don't particularly want to defend that upstairs site. It didn't really work out in our favor. We might as well throw a bit of a wrench in the plans of Team Secret. It's going to be an early engagement. And Secret has a couple good shots on their side. Fonkers unable to land more than just a couple onto Aces all the way from that second floor over to the top of Spiral Stairs.
Good utility here from IQ, who is a staple pick for this map and has been showing up quite a lot of these rounds. Capital, something that Secret is really trying to force in this match, and of course lots of utility on him. Could be on flank watch, that's Alems. It's the vertical pressure now from Team Secret as they have control of Piano and they are starting to seriously use it. Leon laying some fire onto Hicks and will get the kill. Hicks gets caught by that table in the middle of Kitchen. It's a bad position to be standing in. Drop down next targets for the attack as they start opening it using Habana. There is no Thermite. What a rotate from Rise. This could be a kill, but oh, the flank watch is in. Shots missed from Rise and position given away as Meepy eliminates his flanking buddy. Aces on the floor and eliminated. Shots from Rise, though, will get that kill onto Meepy. So, flank watch dealt with, but Leon there to support and double up on that flank watch.
Alfama knows that he's going to lose some of the safety in that garage wall behind him as the Mute Jammers have been taken out earlier on, and Mute himself lighting up Alems on yellow stairs as you now see Team Secret begin to clench their jaws down upon the site. What little is LeStream going to be able to put together? You've got utility with the Yokais, providing they're still upright and haven't been found out. It'll be Uno just simply trying to frag and hold that doorway as Alfama goes down after getting a kill. Leave Uno in a 1v2. Definitely still winnable, but it sounds like his position has been given away. Two bodies present themselves, but Uno unable to hit the shots onto either. A bevy of flashbangs might be able to blind him out, but he's getting pinched. A tremendous kill from Uno, and he's going to look for the clutch now, but he can't get it. Steez around the front of the van. Be able to run over Uno. Secret now putting two in a row on their own, evening things up. Looked like it was going bad in a hurry for Team Secret on defense, but they've been able to right that ship so far on attack. Two very triumphant rounds will put us back at 4-4, heading into round number 9. An opportunity for LeStream to maybe try something new on a different site, as it looks like they've got Lobby lined up. They've been unsuccessful on that second floor and unsuccessful on the basement. You might as well roll the die on the middle floor and hope that you can stop the bleeding.
Got to give props to LeStream for keeping the ball rolling in terms of the sites they're going to, but their defense thus far has not been quite as well, powerful or pronounced as their attacks were. LeStream had some excellent attack strategies. The rotations were on point, but here on defense, it's been a bit of a struggle. 6 pick onto Clash here for Alfama, and they're going to have a different type of information gathering, and it's probably going to be a great pick, I would say, for the main lobby. I believe they sacrificed the mute for it. Didn't quite catch it in time, but this is, I think, going to be a decent operator for the situation. Interesting holes being opened up here by Hicks. It's going to allow for some play by the long desk. Possibly going to be the Clash who does play in that position. We'll see what happens exactly. Of course, Projector always going to be a point of emphasis for the defense on this site. Hold this site, or hold rather this room, and you can defend the B-bomb site from above, which is important because, well, there's no horizontal hold for the B-bomb site. Not really, as all of the walls are indestructible. You either hold it from the drop-downs from below or hold it from the holes that you can make in the ceiling. Looks like there's no pressure at all in the south. In fact, it might just be a rush from Secret. They're setting themselves up quite a lot on the north and northwest. Just looking to pressure possibly onto yellow stairs. As we know, yellow stairs, a great position to control when attacking any bomb site.
It's a very one-dimensional attack from Secret last time onto the yellow stairs that they were attacking console office above before rotating Secret's bodies over towards admin side of things. Obviously, admin is a hotly contested point of entry for most attackers. There isn't really a lot of defensive pressure there, other than when we saw those 2 3 armors, as I mentioned, of the GIGN in both the Rook and the Dock. from Secret. It didn't end up being a very good defense from Secret. I don't imagine that LeStream will make the mistake of stacking up bodies in admin either. It doesn't really matter, though, because LeStream realizes that admin's actually a little bit more difficult to take when you have to attack lobby than it is when you have to attack console upstairs. Leadoff kill is going to be on to Leon Gids, whose entry has been quite successful. And what was that?
Wait, that
was his own teammate, wasn't it?
No. Leon took out Aces, but he got him from the Visa window. Another frag for Leon, but he goes down. So an effective trade here, as it doesn't seem like there's anyone to support or pick up Leon in this situation. Clash isn't going to go to secure, though, because he doesn't know he got the down. Uno will eliminate Lems. Very tight angle there on the window. Alfama finally secures the kill onto Leon, and we've got an even man count.
Interesting to see what this Clash is capable of accomplishing now that on Secret, there's really nothing there to stop the Clash. You've got one frag grenade from Fonkers. That's it. There's no Zofia that you have to worry about as a defender. There's no Capital left on the board because Lems had just gotten picked off of that window by the Vigil of Uno. So as long as LeStream are capable of keeping this Clash of Alfama secure, it's going to bode really, really well for the defender's chances. A minute to go and Secret has control of above.
This vertical presence, though, doesn't really accomplish very much for Secret in this moment in time. While they can leave Fonkers up here, Meepy and Steez are going to go for the main lobby plant. There's a smoke in play. As you said, there's a Clash in play. And Uno could potentially even at any point retake Projector because there's no flank watch.
You've got two bodies from Secret who are going to be able to do that drone watch, but as you said, there's going to be a Vigil on the board. He's going to be able to cloak himself and your information for Secret. It's not going to be there quite well. Hicks actually looks like he might throw the smoke a little too short. Plant goes down successfully, but Stiz falls and will be finished off by the toxic canister of Hicks. As Uno engages with the buck from above, it's going to be a rush in from Meepy, looking for two, cut down by Hicks, stopped in his tracks, and that secondary control on the floor above the bomb site for Fonkers will need to save the day. He's going to be contested by this Clash, as we mentioned, and there's really nothing that the Buck is going to be able to do. But Hicks falls, and despite that, Alfama is going to have to engage in some capacity, turns his shield around, and Alfama, what a masterful clutch to save the day. He should have plenty of time as he puts the shield on his back, absorbs the damage from Fonkers, and Alfama gets it. The diffuser and the final kill. What an amazing moment. And LeStream managed to shut Secret down and take round number 9 in a fashion that I don't suspect many of us believed possible.
The Clash shield SMG swap where you turn around, that died a while ago when her swap speed got slowed down significantly. And I think a lot of people imagined it was gone for good. And I think it still is, really. But some seriously unfortunate missed shots there from Fonkers, allowing that to happen. So, great job to Alfama. You really got to hand it to him. But whoops on the side of Fonkers for sure. A little bit of inexperience, I guess, showing in there. Give it time. He's still new, all things considered. Most of the players in this match, they've been playing since, well, the beginning. And I'm not just saying playing the game. I mean this level. But it happens. We're going to the top 4 now. And that was the very first successful round for LeStream. And it came, I mean, very narrowly. I think we could say it's safe to assume that could have easily been an attacking win for Secret, and it would have been 3 in a row, putting themselves in this 5-4 situation. But now it's the other way around. LeStream finally gets something going for them, but it doesn't look like their defense has really been standing up to the attack from Secret in this entire half, and you can expect some... I think we can all expect Secret to keep their ball rolling and keep getting these rounds on attack.
It's been a very attacker-sided thing so far, right? We've got 6 rounds to 3. They're doubling up, 66%. Obviously repeating, of course.
Remember the last play data that we casted? It was actually primarily attacker-sided, if I'm not mistaken. We've been seeing a lot more of that.
Up until Space Station EG on this map, actually.
Yeah,
Believe it or not.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, I think the whole attacker-sided, defender-sided thing is starting to balance out a little, but I don't know. That's just theory. I haven't actually looked at the stats.
I was going to say you have to imagine that maybe that Nomad being in play and having to worry about her, or maybe that Maverick isn't an insta-ban for a lot of teams, obviously factors in, but Nomad is banned and Maverick doesn't really get played on this map. So Could just also come down to these teams being super aggressive, because both of them are teams that like to take opportunities. You've got Aces and Uno. Speaking of Aces in particular, it's going to hang off of the window essentially and just wait for somebody to punish him, and it'll be Fonkers who gets that privilege, being able to take out the Legion.
It's a really good pick onto Aces, who got, as you said, a little too aggressive. Rise in an exposed position here, but he's just counting on his reaction time to be slightly faster than his opponents. Gets droned out, though, and the many repels are going to force him back to Soda Machine. He's got an ADS here to assist him on holding this position, but he's going to fall back and into the hands of Leon Gids, who gets yet another one, and a third from Leon at the top of Spiral. Hicks now the last defender, and he has to hold against the entire attacking team, Team Secret. Leon looking for his fourth, and he's in a good position to get it. The push, though, will shut him down, as Hicks has that advantage with the shotgun and SMG-11 at close range. But he's still in such a bad position. It'll be shut down by LMs. Secret take the round.
We're going to need every single one of the 12 rounds of this matchup between these two teams, which is a huge victory for Secret. You're in last place, and you're able to push the team that is currently sitting in one of the playoff spots into every single round required. Ultimately, a big victory, even if LeStream still ends up winning 7-5, it does bode well for Secret moving forward through the next 5 weeks, or 5 play days rather, that we will have. Even though there's been some small mistakes, and there have been a couple rounds that Secret have lost, I feel on defense that probably could have tipped the scale here. Same thing can be said for LeStream, especially the way that Aces played that repel on the window. Getting so aggressive as Legion, I understand that you want to take that chance. You want to make that gamble, but your utility, really vital. And especially with how quick Secret can play, having operators that can slow you down are so important. Speaking of, Uno, going to be rocking the Capkin here, specifically designed, likely, to slow down Secret alongside the Legion.
Yeah, it also makes it easier to rotate knowing that you've got Capcans on some doors. It's information, if nothing else. Same kind of principle as Castle Barricades, but a little bit more, I'd say, incognito. Harder to detect, that's for sure. We see Capcan brought out a few times here and there, but he doesn't see very high pick rate. It mostly just comes down to the fact that his denial is situational, and I think it's just a mentality thing for LeStream, if nothing else at this moment. I mean, think about how your mentality must be if you've played 4 defensive rounds, won a single one of them, and it was a 1-versus-1 clutch that could have easily gone the other way. You need to start bringing some curveballs. Capcan might be one of those. Strategically not a really amazing operator, but every single Capcan that detonates makes winning an engagement so much easier.
2 different ways that Capkin can help alleviate the pressure of a rush or a very aggressive team. Number 1, it can slow their entry into a building just by simply dealing a lot of damage. Obviously, dealing up to 60 damage to 3 speeds, depending on the way it works. But additionally, it also means that if your team is a little bit slower and you take your time, that you might end up hitting those Capcan traps on the way in for your execute. That can slow you down when time is absolutely critical. Now, on this entry point, we've been noting that Team Secret have been getting almost increasingly faster on their ability to get into the building. They managed to secure a kill onto Hicks, and now Rise falls as well. Hicks had taken quite a bit of damage in the first 30 seconds. It took another 30 for the rest of Secret to be able to find him. But man, LeStream now 3v5. Just under 2 minutes to go. Too many bodies from LeStream dying way too early. They need to shore up that defense, as now Leon Gids is in hot pursuit of yet another. But he'll find a goo mine for his trouble. Aces doesn't get a single tick of damage. He'll manage to get away scot-free for the time being. At least Leon Gids will be just a little bit slower on his entry.
There's only 1 anchor right now, it's Alfalma. So if Secret gets wise to that, it would be a very swift take onto the site. They're currently being cautious, knowing they have a distinct man advantage and don't want to waste it. And here we go. It's starting to get a lot less of an advantage. It's 2 for Alfalma and 1 for Uno elsewhere, who runs out and gets eliminated. Good teamwork between Fonkers and Meepy. But now we find ourselves in 2 versus 2 from a 5 versus 3.
I think Secret got a little bit too ahead of themselves there. They got the 2 early picks. They decided to rush on in. You've got the Ashe inside a bathroom, and then you've got the Hibana rushing up yellow stairs. Neither of whom happened to know there was an anchor in play. It was the only anchor that you mentioned, is there you go. Aces and Alfalma managed to tie this one together. And a round that looked like Secret couldn't have thrown it away any faster. LeStream will be able to capitalize on every single misplay and Secret will be kicking themselves. 1 point secured for LeStream, but Secret will fight for the draw in our very final round here. And you got to imagine, heading into round number 12, with a round that it didn't look like you could have paid Secret to lose, what ends up happening? They end up losing it. And they lose it in commanding fashion. Only 1 body from LeStream gets felled of the remaining 3, yet all 5 lost from Secret. And it'll be a lobby press room defense on that main floor for LeStream, who were successful here last time, largely off of the, pardon the pun, the back of Alfama's clash, being able to take out the buck above and saving the day at the very final second to grab the diffuser. But still, Secret were able to get good control and get a diffuse down on this site. If they can emulate that, there's no clash on the board for LeStream that they need to worry about. It could work well for Secret to be able to get the draw and a much-needed point to catch Na'Vi in the standings, try and get out of that fatal auto-relegation spot.
So if LeStream draw this, it'll be 3 draws in a row, and before that, a loss to Empire. And that's just building on the slow of momentum that they've been having very recently. On the other hand, if Secret win this round and get a draw, that would be an uptake for them. And they got the win in the last play day against Mal 7-2, pretty substantial win right there. That one I think was also one of our more closer polls that we've had recently. And then, before that, just loss after loss after loss after loss. I mean, it's not really worth going into. Every point that Secret can get when they find themselves where they are right now, in 8th place, is going to be good. So yeah, I think you said it right. Secret are going to be kicking themselves for that last round. But even if they get a draw here, it's better than nothing.
And like I mentioned 2 rounds ago, Secret are currently occupying that very last spot in the auto-relegation spot in Europe. This is probably the most competitive region through and through, I would say, yes, of all 4 of the regions that we see. Right now, Europe is the most competitive region. I think that you have 8 teams that are all capable of securing a playoff spot, depending on, who they're playing for that week. Secret need to start putting points on the board. And, it's going to be difficult, especially now they just lost to Lens early. There's 1 point that is here for Secret, that is theirs for the taking, providing they can make a good course correction. Leon Gids is already inside of yellow stairs. The bomb site is on that main floor, so he's not that close to possibly getting any site control. Leon Gids has been spotted from the yokai. So at least LeStream knows somewhat of his location as he finds safe harbor inside of the bathroom wall.
Lems is also one of the top fraggers, if not the top fragger for Team Secret, and Capitao to boot. So lots of frag potential, lots of utility, just no longer there. Some missed shots, but finally Leon is going to eliminate Uno. It took him a while, but he got it done. Rise also goes down to Leon before Aces gets 3 frags. So LeStream not out of the woods, but at least a little bit of equalization as they take out the Ash, who's been fragging this round.
Worth noting that there's no C4 or Nitro Cell on the board for the defenders. At least there wasn't to start with, and there certainly isn't now, as there's only 3 bodies. Alfama was downstairs too, which means that the Echo will have to rely on his yokai drones on the main floor, providing they're up there. But the Echo's still capable of putting in good work. Alfama's actually come alive over these last 3 to 4 rounds, showing his prowess as a fragging operator, or a fragging player rather, given the fact that, hey, he's usually on support roles. He's not usually tasked with getting the kills in the same way. So we'll see what Team Secret is able to accomplish now. A 3v3 with just a minute to go. Steez holds that diffuser. He will need to get it planted. He did so successfully in round number 9. They're going to need to emulate that if Secret wants a fighting chance here.
Difference is that there's no clash. Instead, that we have an Echo, which means the Yokais are probably going to be something to deal with. The IQ is still in play, though. And Alfama's going to have to time this perfectly if he wants to have an effect on the round using his drones. Starts bringing him in with the gas canisters to deny. First one goes down to the IQ. The second one still in place is trying to plant the diffuser. And oh, there you go. The yokai is coming in with great effect. Aces also eliminates Meepy, who is the IQ trying to hunt those yokai drones. Now the last one is still going to be able to influence this round. There also are possibly still gas canisters in play, which means Bonkers has to go for a rush. He doesn't have a choice. Aces more frags, and there's the third. LeStream take the round. Beautiful play from the Legion, Echo and the Smoke all together to hold on to that main lobby push.
Aces had the distinction of being one of the best fraggers in all of Europe, and I think that he kind of lost that title a little bit over the last half season or so. It's good to see him being able to commandeer a scoreboard yet again and just run roughshod over top of Secret, who managed to take the team in 2nd place every single round in this matchup, but just fall a little short. 16 kills on the day for Leon Gids, but it's not enough for the rest of his team. Alem's also putting in great work. 30 kills between those two players on Secret. I think they're going to be looking at a couple of those rounds. That 11th round in particular, where they were up 5v3 and kicking themselves, saying, we still left some stuff on the table. We had an opportunity to close this one out. We weren't able to do it.
There was also the round with Fonkers. If we're being honest, the whole switching, you know, off your shield into your SMG as Clash thing, it is not as it's not as viable as it used to be, and it usually should result in your death. Alfama managed to make it work, but that is partially due to the mistakes being made by the attacker on the other end, Fonkers. So a bit of a whoops there. In that last round, I could understand why the plant was so difficult to get down. I honestly think that the strat was not to try and go for a main lobby take, but to try and shift things up. I really like some of the things we saw from Secret. I have to point out certain things like, for example, how many tools Team Secret had to take control of Yellow Stairs. It was crazy. I mean, that play they had with Buck, opening up the windows by Z from below and then trying to take out Hicks, and then eventually they did get Hicks on Repel, but they did so much damage as just Buck skeleton keying from underneath in Bathroom. There were a lot of different tools being employed there for specifically Yellow Stairs control. And the reason I'm bringing that up is the level of ingenuity for a Yellow Stairs take from Secret compared to their ingenuity everywhere else. I don't understand why there's such a disparity. I don't know why they have such a focus on Yellow Stairs when there's other places you can attack on that building. And I feel like there may be a little bit of a shift in focus is in, because they put a lot of thought into taking Yellow, and it was great to see every time, but that doesn't give you a round.
Specifically admin as well. Admin is usually the focal point for a lot of teams here. Look at Team Empire. They attack every single site by taking control of admin first on that second floor, because usually most teams don't bother to defend it. Now, we saw those two GIGN operators from Secret hard holding admin and being very aggressive in doing so. We even saw LeStream posting aces up there, even though he did die that one time, being very aggressive inside of admin. There were a number of different opportunities for both teams to be able to change things up. They weren't able to adapt. LeStream ekes out a victory very narrowly over Secret. Secret leaves some more points on the table. They've only got 5 games left to dig themselves out of that last place. But we have an interview ready. We'll bring it up here and we'll say hello to Rise. Congratulations on your victory today.
Hello, thank you very much.
You very almost narrowly tied again for the third, what would have been your third time in a row, securing just 1 point. I actually want to ask you very first question about Secret, because you just played them. They had a good showing against Mouse. They beat Mouse 7-2 last week. They've added Fonkers to the lineup. What have you as a player noticed is different about the way that Secret played, and how did you prepare for that today?
I think they just have like more firepower at the moment, because they have kind of the same identity they had in the first half of the Pro League, with like that Leon Gitz who's like roaming around and doing amazing kills, obviously. But it's more like more firepower.
So the added fragging potential that they have is obviously something that's worrisome. How do you counter that? Now, we saw that Leon Gidz was able to get 2 very big rounds, rounds 1 and 2, but then it seems like you guys shut him down completely for the next 4 rounds. Do you just adapt as you realize his roaming patterns, or is it something where you knew how to shut him down from the start, but it just started working better through the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th rounds?
Thing is, I think we knew that they were going for the consulate map ban, and they obviously did a really strong counter strat on us on our attack side. So the thing we just did, at first we were like, okay, so we would just adapt on the counter strat, and that wasn't a good idea. So after the second round, the third round, we started winning rounds because we actually played our own game style, and that worked. Because obviously, when you bring an Aces or an Uno against a Leon Gitz or a Fonkers, it's just a matter of who's got the best supports in terms of joining information, and then like there's just the aim that will balance the whole thing. But yeah, so we just brought Aces and Uno in a good shape, and we played our own game style on console.
Now, one thing that we noticed a couple times on defense was that you would have Uno or Aces in a very aggressive position early into a round. And for the most part, it didn't really seem to pay off. Is this something that you planned going in as well? Because you mentioned that, you know, Secret has great firepower. Are you deliberately trying to catch them off guard as they enter the building, or is there more to it?
In defense, you mean?
Yeah, when you were on defense with Aces and Uno getting very aggressive on a number of different rounds.
Well, I think Consulate is a map that has to be played most of the time outside, or at least in the peripheral areas. For example, the admin or the yellow side. These are both key zones, and if you don't contest them, if you give them the free space, they will plan really easily. And at least, or for the other side, for the admin side, they will take strong zones and like be very effective on it. So yeah, we put aces and Uno, and even me sometimes on the yellow side in aggressive position, so they cannot come in the building too much easily and win time. It's just a matter of saving time. We do it like this since more than 1 year now, and it's still working. So obviously the map is working like that.
Absolutely. Well, once again, congratulations today. You find yourselves with a big 3 points, still trailing Empire, who seem to have a stranglehold on that first place spot in Europe, but you hold on to your playoff spot for the time being. Anything to say to your fans, the viewers, your org, etc., before we end the interview?
Thank you very much for the support, as usual. It's amazing, and, well, stay like this, guys. Amazing, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good luck in your next 5 matches. I like Rise.
I like Rise too. Great guy.
His stock has risen.
True.
Quite a bit over the last little while. You know, we think back, he played for Vitality, was it, in the 6 Invitational last year.
Mm-hmm.
They got in on that community vote. They ended up getting bounced very fast in the group of death. It was the group with the team that is now Na'Vi, the team that is now G2, and the team that is Evil Geniuses, which is a hell of a group to go up against.
Yeah.
They had a very short stay in Montreal before Rise moved over to Millennium, and then Millennium became LeStream as well. And I think he's really found his footing, and often gets overshadowed by people like Uno and Aces on his team.
Oh yeah, certainly. But he's had I think a good effect on this team, and it's it's one of those things that. Yeah, you're going to have people like Uno really fragging out, Aces as well, as they are 2 of the best aimers out there, period. And, it's the same thing with Leon, for example. But every so often, you'll get frags on the other people. But it's all about that teamwork. It's about that support play. It's about what you're bringing to the team elsewhere, stuff that we don't always necessarily see.
There's a lot of moving parts in the background, communication, droning, etc., that we just don't have the opportunity to have on our screen in terms of visibility, and something that you have to talk to the players individually to hear about the contributions that they make. But that's match number 1 in the books. We'll look towards match number 2. It's going to be interesting. We've got Na'Vi going up against Team Empire. We started the day off with the 8th place team. We will now jump to the 7th place team, fighting against the 1st place team. And dare I say it, what appears to be the best team in Pro League so far this season in Team Empire. We'll throw to a quick break, and then we'll be back with match number 2.